Welcome to the 2019 season premiere of Sports Talk here on WYLN. This is your weekly source for Hazleton Area High School football. I'm your host, Marty Burns, and once again, I am joined by the head football coach at Hazleton Area High School, Mike Brennan. We're going to go over everything to do with the 2019 Hazleton Area Football Cougars, preview the team, get a look ahead at the upcoming schedule, and also talk about the scrimmage that they just had against Stroudsburg. So much to get in this half hour. We're going to take a quick break and be back with more of Sports Talk here on WYLN.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
You've seen university advertising. A student like me pitching you the same old ideas. But I'm not gonna do that.
Instead, I'm gonna tell you what you can do with a Penn State degree. You can help anyone. Go anywhere. Create! And with 20 campuses to choose from, you'll always feel at home.
Look, Penn State is amazing, but your best years are just beginning. Come find out for yourself.
At Grand Central, our family has been supplying your family with quality brand name furniture, mattresses, and appliances for over 3 generations. Whether you choose from our excellent selection of Lazy Boy, Catnapper, or England furniture, or from our fantastic selection of Sealy and Stearns & Foster mattresses, we guarantee total comfort in every room of your home.
With expert advice,
everyday low prices,
plus interest-free financing for up to 60 months.
From our family to your family.
Grand Central in Hazleton, everything to make your house a home.
Oh, hey guys, this is Ray Merrill from Blaze Alexander Mazda. Things are going so great. Blaze Alexander of Greater Hazleton, they want us to expand the lot. We got the equipment here, the lot's getting bigger, the inventory is growing. If you're in the market for a Mazda, get down to Blaze Alexander's of Greater Hazleton. So come see all this inventory that has to go. You get a Mazda, you get a Mazda, you get a Mazda. So check us out online at blazemazdahazleton.com. If you're looking for a great deal, unbelievable deal on those Mazdas, come to Hazleton and see why we're taking the deals the other guys won't.
Welcome back to Sports Talk here on WYLN. This is the 2019 season premiere. I'm Marty Burns, joined once again for another season with head football coach at Hazleton Area High School, Mike Brennan. And Coach, great being with you once again.
Exciting, 2019's here.
And we're just days away from the season opener, but before we get to that, let's just look a little bit back in the past. You actually coached a game since the last time we saw you, and that was the Unico All-Star game. Chance to coach one more time your outgoing seniors. And in that game, Jacob Hunsinger stood out as the George Curry most valuable player in the game. So that meant that the Hazleton Area football program in the Unico All-Star game had the last 2 most valuable players with Adrian Otero the year before. What does that say for this particular program to have that?
It was exciting. Us having an opportunity to coach in the game. Because so many seniors were involved, I said, I was excited to do that, but it's obviously a great thing. Adrian was excited when he got the MVP. It's great for our program. It's great for people to see Hazleton Area football doing well. Adrian's thriving at an FCS school at University of Maine. Jacob's a walk-on at the University of Pittsburgh and is on the roster and is having a great summer out there. So it's exciting for those 2 players in particular. So hopefully we can go for the trifecta this year in the Unico.
That'd be nice. And once again, you also had some All-Staters, and that's got to be an accomplishment for this program as a whole. Yeah,
you look at Damon Horton's productivity. I mean, he finishes with over 2,300 career rushing yards and over 1,000 career receiving yards. Then Jacob Hunsinger's year was just incredible. He came, the irony is they mispronounced Jacob's name. They called him a different name when they gave him the MVP award at Wyoming area for the Unico game. And it's fitting for him because no one knew anything about him.
Right.
You know, he was off the radar, and he just worked himself into being a great player. And to have All-State mention his senior year is incredible. We're really excited about Sparky Wolk. He made the PA Football Writers All-State team as a junior. So did David Smith. So and so did Adrian Otero as well. So we've had 5 guys in the last 2 years. So it speaks volumes for our program. I think the effort our kids put in, and we're certainly recognized now on a statewide level in terms of the product we're starting to put out, I think.
And they laid the groundwork now for this upcoming 2019 football team. We talked about it at the end of last year. You've gotten to that hump where you've won playoff games. You want to get to that point where you want to win the district, and you also want to get to that point where you've seen how significant home field advantages and come playoff time, especially with the other teams in your sub-regional, just travel-wise come November. You don't have to get on a bus. You wait for them to come to you, and that's just one of the intangibles and one of the honors of being home and not having to travel.
You're very, very important, and I think we're 17-13 in our last 30 games, so we've made that progress. We've won a playoff game in a row. We've won a playoff game at home. We have to win those tight games. I think what takes our program to the next level is finding a way to win that 21-20 game against Valley West last year, finding a way to win that 64-63 game against Williamsport last year, finding a way to finish against Berwick when we led 14-0 at halftime without 2 of our best players. Those are the games we have to find a way to win, and the focus and the discipline has to be dialed up. We have to be in tune. We got to be better on defense this year. We certainly know that. So I think that's the thing that's going to take our program to the next level, is finding a way to be a consistent winning team during the season and have a chance to play Week 12 at home. Almost last year, we were controlling the game at Delaware Valley last year when Damon went down. Right. I mean, that whole thing changes. The whole picture changes. If we win that game, then they're coming to us Week 12. So, our goal this year is to get better, improve. We have a lot of young kids, which we'll talk about. But certainly getting to that Week 11 game and winning again is certainly a goal of ours.
And in looking at your schedule as a whole, and I know you like to go game by game, but when you break out your schedule, your first 2 on the road, 3 out of the first 4 on the road, and then but the nice bonus is 4 out of your last 6 are at home, with your 2 road games being nice trips to Berwick and Crestwood, not the long drives on the bus. And then you had your scrimmage, and you went on the road and played at Stroudsburg. Talk about how the scrimmage went Saturday.
The scrimmage, we were about average, we thought. We did some really good things, but we have a lot of improvement. We have 1 starter returning in offense, Jason Beaver. He's coming off an off-season injury. So you would look at the productivity, over 90% of our offense we lost. It's scary going into a first game in a road. Defensively, we have 6 starters returning from a defense that wasn't as good as we needed to be. So we worked really hard in the offseason. Mike Koga takes over as defensive coordinator, has lots of experience in that role and as a head coach. So, having a chance to go on the road to Pottsville Week 1 to find a way to win the game is certainly very important for us. Stroudsburg was a good challenge for us. They have good perimeter speed. They're physical up front. So we feel like we did a lot of good things on Saturday, but certainly not enough to beat a good Pottsville team this Friday night.
And when we talk about your schedule, a couple of unknowns. You got teams with some new coaches, and you've got a familiar coach with a new team, and we're talking about Wilkes-Barre area, the Wolfpack. Ciro Cinti takes over that program that's in its first stages, a combination of Myers, GAR, and Coughlin, where they're a little bit of an unknown. You'll get them Week 4, so you'll end up getting some tape on them. But the unknown with them is you don't know how they're going to mesh together.
Right.
You have an idea what Coach Cinti likes to do, but until you see them actually out there, you're not sure what they're going to put out on the field.
Yeah, we're not too sure at all. I mean, you're mixing those kids together. They're still in different buildings. We know for sure they'll have track speed. We know for sure they'll be tough kids. They always are at Wilkes-Barre. So we have lots of different looks this year. Coach Baranski at Wyoming Valley West, Coach DeFrancesco, Carmi and I are really good friends. We coached together for a long time when he was at Shamokin and I was at Mount Carmel area. And then he took over 2 years after I left Mount Carmel area. So we had lunch together up at in Wilkes-Barre at the media day. So yeah, a lot of different. A new coach at Ryan Arcangeli at Crestwood, very good guy. Have developed a good relationship with him. So we have a lot of good people, coming into football locally in our conference. So it'll be an exciting year.
And let's start looking at your team. 2019, let's start with the special teams. How is the special teams going to look? I know that you've always stressed, especially in the return game, a good return game. Damon was a big part of that.
Yeah.
How do you replace that kind of productivity?
You don't replace Damon Horton. There's no doubt about it. He was physical. He's at Division I, St. Francis now in the FCS. He's an all-state performer. Like I said, what he did receiving the football and running the football was outstanding. So he had some kickoff returns for touchdowns for us, and that hurts not having him. We look to right now we're looking at Matthew Casadas, a freshman to return kickoffs, and senior Lance Johnson, who had 337 yards all-purpose last year. Those two guys are the guys we look to return kicks. Returning punts, we'll have Matthew Casadas and Matt Fisher, along with Evan Matthews. Evan's a very short-handed receiver. So the return game is very important. That could be a momentum changer in high school football.
And then the other part of the special teams, your kicking game. Where do you look to be in your kicking game?
Obviously losing Will Barrientos is going to hurt. He's a very talented kicker. He worked very hard at it, and he was able to kick from the hash marks and able to punt and everything. His kickoffs were good, so missing him is certainly a problem. But Luke Russo was our backup last year. Luke made a PAT up at Coughlin, at Wilkes-Barre Memorial in week 8 or week 9, whatever it was. And he's worked very hard in the summertime. He's working on punting, kickoffs, and field goal PAT, and he's been really consistent at the field goal PAT part. He's a real bright kid, good athlete, only a sophomore, so that's exciting. Matt Fisher's going to hold, so it gives us a short-handed senior who has the ball in his hands every play, the opportunity to put the ball in the block. So we feel like that's something we work very hard at special teams. That's got to be ready to go Friday night at Pottsville, because it'll be a tight game. So a field goal or a change of momentum in the kicking game could decide the difference in the game.
Okay, Coach, we're going to take another break, and then coming up after the break, we'll talk offense, we'll talk defense for the 2019 Hazleton Area Cougars. You're watching Sports Talk here on WYLN.
Have an electrical problem? Call the Wire Guys. Need lights installed? Call the Wire Guys. Anything and everything electrical, big or small. Our rigorously trained licensed electricians are fully screened, always on time, work neat, clean, and thorough. The Wire Guys, we're here 24/7, 365. All of our work is guaranteed, 100%. When you need electrical work, you need Wire Guys.
BLB Auto Sales, a division of Barbush Automotive. BLB has deals that can't be beat. They carry trucks, vans, SUVs, sedans, and sports cars, and all at the lowest prices. Barbush Automotive can handle all vehicle repairs since they do it all. Check out their specials: oil change and filter, just $19.95. Alignment, $49.95. Professional and good people. Call 570-454-7571.
All about adventure. Zip lines, treetop courses, hiking, biking, whitewater rafting, and boating. Even world-class accommodations. So make the right choice. The Pocono Mountains for your next vacation.
Sacco Chiropractic, East Broad Street in Hazleton, has the healthcare you've been waiting for. Whether it's a chronic issue or something new, Sacco Chiropractic has the most up-to-date techniques and therapies to help with any ailment. From his days of playing football with the Cougars and then in college, Dr. Scott Sacco has an elite understanding of sports injuries and how to correct them. Whether you are an athlete, a weekend warrior, or a grandmother, we can help with multiple issues. Call today to see why relief is super, man. 570-497-4150.
When you see news happening in your neighborhood, call WYLN News at 570-459-1869 or email us at news@WYLNTV.com or send us a message on social media through Facebook. WYLN, we're your local network.
Stop in at Two Italian Guys Pizzeria for the best pizza in town, serving a large variety of pizza, stromboli, and so much more. Open till 3 a.m. Take out or eat in, delivery available. Call 570-459-2783.
Experience the beauty of the Valley Country Club and let them sponsor you for your next event. Toss the flowers and dance the night away with their course as your backdrop. Let Valley Country Club host your next special occasion, whether it's a bridal or baby shower, anniversary, celebration of life, pool party, charity fundraiser, business meeting, golf outing, corporate, private, or social event.
Welcome back to the season premiere of Sports Talk, your weekly source for Hazleton area high school football. I'm Marty Burns, joined by Cougar head football coach Mike Brennan. And Coach, we're going to get to the two aspects that everybody, all the fans out there, talk about the most: offense, defense. And with offense, we've always talked about it, whether it's right or it's wrong. Everything comes down to the quarterback. Now Sparky's gone due to graduation. Everybody's wondering who's going to replace Sparky Walker.
It'll be senior Matt Fisher, who's been Sparky's backup for 3 years. Due to some injuries, we moved the receiver last year. He caught 25 passes in the last half of the season. So he did not complete a pass in 2018. So it's not very often you have your quarterback coming in and didn't complete a pass, but Matt Fisher did not complete a pass. Was an all-star caliber defensive player for us, made local all-star teams and all-star teams in the Wilkes-Barre area, and we're very confident in Matt Fisher to lead our guys from the quarterback position.
And then, we talked about Johnson and Molesky. They're going to be counted on in the backfield to lead that charge in your running game.
Yeah, I mean, Lance Johnson ran for 337 all-purpose yards last year. Can catch the football out of the backfield very effectively. Great weightlifter, great straight-ahead speed, runs hard, instinctive running back, played running back his whole life, so we feel really good about Lance carrying a load of tailback. Kevin Molesky's a guy that I don't think a lot of people know about. He's 220 pounds. He's got tremendous burst. He ran the ball well at Coughlin last year. He catched the ball exceptionally well. You can see him at tight ends in certain sets. You'll see him as an H-back. You'll see him as a wide receiver. And you'll see him in the backfield as a fullback and a tailback. Very effective guy running the football. Other than that, we have a lot of young guys backing us up. Dante Mattarella had a touchdown in the scrimmage, a junior. Also wrestles, plays linebacker for us and special teams. So Dante had a touchdown up at Stroudsburg the other day. So we have some other freshmen that have gotten some reps and are looking to improve.
And while we continue to talk about the offense, defense, we're going to look at some highlights from last season with some of these returning players that we're talking about. And in protecting Matt Fisher, what are we looking at on your offensive line?
Yeah, it starts with Beeve, Jason Beaver at left tackle. Started every game last year. Had an off-season injury. He rehabbed hard to work for, but he's our only returning starter, full-time starter on the offensive side of the football. Guards, Richie Santos will be in the left side, who started 7 games in the last 2 years. At center, you'll see James Bugner, you'll see Leo Kelly, you'll see Seth Hunsinger at right guard, and you'll see probably either James Bugner or Matt Manzola or Leo Kelly at right tackle. Bryce Torstrup will play some tight end for us in certain regular sets. As you can see, Dante Alucci as well in the up front guys. So Max Barrett's a key backup. Bryce Reed is our first guy in at guard and tackle as a backup. So Gavin Guza made tremendous strides in the offseason as an offensive tackle. So we feel good about the depth we're starting to develop. We feel like we can go 8 or 9 deep for the second half of the regular season.
And I know we talked about it in the past with Jacob Hunsinger. He seemed to get better game in and game out. One of those players that you mentioned on that offensive line that seemed to fit that bill, you seemed to call his name as each game went along more and more, and that's Richie Santos.
Yeah, Richie does a great job, on both sides of the ball. He has a motor defensively. He can rush the quarterback. He's a good tackler. He's cat quick. At offensive line, he can play tackle, guard, or center for us, but we really have liked his improvement on the offensive line. Great trap blocker, pulling very well, and he's had a really good preseason.
And now we're here seeing some defense here, and when we talk about the defense, just like the offense, you don't have a lot coming back as far as amount of starters, but you've got some quality seniors that are going to lead the way in guys like Matt Fisher and Bryce Reed.
Yeah, Fish will be playing in the secondary for us. We move him either corner or free safety. Bryce Reed has made a lot of plays for us the last 2 years as a starter. He'll be a 3-year starter. Very athletic, very bright, runs hard to the football, and Bryce will be really, we feel Bryce will be really, really good. So we're excited about him. Evan Matthews is in the secondary as well, sort of holds things down. He had 8 catches offensively for us last year. So, we have guys at all 3 levels we feel have enough experience to make us a formidable defense.
And I know you were talking about that in trying to improve your defense, and I think even though you've got maybe it's not so much youth but inexperience on both sides of the ball, but in particular with your defense, you feel that as a group you've got a pretty good group that you're going to put out there defensively.
You know, we do. 6 guys have started most of the year last year on the defensive side of the football. We feel like our overall team speed defensively is better. You know, we really do. We feel pretty good about overall team speed defensively. So, you know, Kevin Molesky comes back at linebacker at 220, and came off an early season injury last year, which his weight was a little higher, and he didn't get a lot of preseason reps as a sophomore, and really didn't play much in the first 4 games. So we feel like having Kevin Molesky, they call him the bus at linebacker, he's a physical presence there. You know, so you know, Seth Hunsinger's a wrestler, does a good job. You know, Bugda's a tough kid, can play linebacker, defensive line. So Christian Price worked extremely hard in the offseason, and we see him playing some safety for us. You know, on the outside at linebacker, we have some guys as well. You'll see Lance Johnson, you'll see Kellen Warner, our backup quarterback, or newcomer, Johnny DeBellis, Mitchell Maston, who plays receiver as well. So we feel like we go 4 deep at the outside linebacker position.
And then, of course, up front, you're going to look to disrupt things in the running game, and then also get pressure on the opposing quarterbacks. Your feelings on your defensive line as a whole?
I think that's the strength of our team, to be honest with you. I feel like those guys up front, I think with Hunsinger, Santos, Reed, and Bugda, along with some depth from Jason Beaver and Max Barrett, those top 6 guys right now give us good quickness, you know, decent size, good strength, and good ability, and they were productive. You know, 3 or 4 of those guys played last year in the defensive line against Pottsville, where we sacked them 6 times, and they were 4 of 16 passing for 45 yards.
Right.
We harassed them that night in the passing game, so I expect those guys to be ready to go Friday night and get after the quarterback and do a better job in run defense.
And you see it so often in upper levels of football, and you mentioned 6 guys on that defensive line. How important is it that to utilize all 6 of those guys this way, keep guys fresh that come fourth quarter, they're not worn down and they're able to keep going and maybe make that key play in the fourth that maybe they wouldn't be able to make if they were worn down?
Very, very important. A lot of our guys, you know, we're struggling with depth in the program, you know, and a lot of our guys are going to be on the field a lot. And we talked about that. We talked about a lot of guys preparing for 125 snaps or whatever it takes on Friday night to find a way to win a game. So conditioning-wise, we amped it up. I think our kids are very well conditioned. Our practice tempo is really fast, and we do that so we're ready to play Friday nights.
And how important was it, once again this year, you had an extra week for heat acclimation? Yeah,
that's always good. You know, we treat it like double sessions. So we have 2 sessions most of the time. So we get our kids in that mindset where we do an offensive practice and defensive practice. And so we get into double sessions. We have a week under our belt. So we condition hard during that time. Again, we practice time. We got a lot of reps. We run 2 huddles at our defense and do 2 huddles offensively as much as we can. So we feel like we got a lot of reps for both our quarterbacks and our key reserves. So we feel like we're in good position going to this first game from a conditioning standpoint and from a fundamental standpoint.
Coach, we're almost near the end of the season premiere. We're going to take a break. Coming up next, we preview week number 1, the road trip to Pottsville. That's coming up next here on Sports Talk.
Bonanza Steakhouse, 574 Susquehanna Boulevard in Hazel Township, has an unbeatable buffet filled with something for everyone. Our menu includes the finest flame-grilled steaks, barbecue ribs, chicken, seafood, or sandwiches. You can add the buffet to any entree for a little more. Bonanza features daily specials. Join us Saturday and Sunday for our breakfast buffet that includes our famous omelet and egg station, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m.
The Falvella Law Firm, located at 641 Route 93 in Sugarloaf, offers help with car and truck accidents, wills, powers of attorney, and estates. With a small team of attorneys, they work directly with each and every client, serving all of northeastern Pennsylvania. They are proud to offer legal services that make a real difference to you. Call them at 570-788-4191.
This is your home, your car, and you want to give them the protection they deserve with home and auto insurance.
In Hazleton, talk to State Farm agent Pete Keselika.
Ralph M. Cameron, specializing in quality and affordable construction services for residential, commercial, and industrial, licensed and insured. Call 570-401-0654 today for all your construction needs.
Your exciting new TV experience is here. Smarter, faster, easier to use. With live TV, recordings, video on demand, and streaming apps, all in a single place. When you're looking for something new, recommendations are tailored to you. Voice-powered, personalized results to find what you want faster. And the unlimited potential of smart home. The new experience from TiVo is here.
Welcome back to the season premiere of Sports Talk, final segment. We look ahead to week number 1, and Coach, very similar to last year, you're playing Pottsville, whereas the home team has returning veterans coming back, or the other team may be looking to fill in spots with new talent in their starting lineups. The only difference is last year you were the home team, this time you're on the road going against an experienced Pottsville team. What's your initial thoughts?
They're a good football team. They have 23 seniors returning. Some good athletes. They're led, at quarterback by Damon Yost, who's an effective passer. Kevin Shank, a big 6'6" receiver, is a good athlete, two-sport athlete. Mason Barnes had over 700 yards receiving last year. That's the meat and potatoes of what they do. They like to throw balls downfield. They like to sprint out to the edge. They like to play action and boot to their tight end and make big long throws. Kid by the name of Bobby Walchuk, a junior, will run the football for him, number 3. Walchuk, Shank, they're all getting some higher level looks. 3 linemen returning the offensive side of the ball for them. Their tight end was a part-time starter. Defensively, 6 of their guys returned. So 8 starters on offense, 6 on defense. From a team that won 7 games, won a playoff game against Bangor, and lost in their Week 12 game against Bethlehem Catholic. So they're talented. They have a lot of pride and tradition in their program. It's obviously a home opener for them. And I'm sure they're thinking about Hazleton area after last year.
And is there any concern or maybe anticipating defensively that maybe they might want to come right out of the chute and look for something big to try to get everybody really excited and get everybody flowing into the game, look for a big shot deep early?
Yeah, I would think so. I would think what they're trying to do is to obviously get Barnes and Shank loose. I mean, they want to throw the ball downfield, and so we feel that's they have a lot of confidence in the Walchuk kid too. So yeah, I mean, they're going to take shots at us. There's no doubt about it. That was the whole basis of their offense last year was when they were in trouble, they went to big plays, and they were able to hit a lot of big plays in the pass game. So we got to be on top of our game in the secondary, mentally and physically. We got to make sure nobody gets over the top of us, and we got to have a great pass rush. Our pass rush last year was the neutralizer in that game. They scored 1 time on 1 play-action pass, and they threw for 45 yards. We sacked Yost 6 times. So the Seth Hunsingers, the Bryce Reeds, the Richie Santoses, the James Bugdas, the Max Barretts, the Jason Beavers, our linebackers inside, led by Kevin Molesky. Our outside guys got to contain. Those guys got to be really on point in terms of our pass rush, in terms of stopping the run and putting them in positions when they're uncomfortable and they don't want to pass. Coach, we got about a minute left. Concerns that they bring to you defensively? When they're in defense, they're multiple. They've been a 50 traditionally. They look to be more of an even front. Their linebackers are very active. The Drummond Ferraro kids are active. They have Shank playing the outside, so he's a pass rusher off the edge. You have Barnes in the secondary, who's their best athlete in secondary. So they're very athletic across the board. They'll slant a lot to the field, to the strength. But they're a very active defense. We have to be on top of our game, especially with 1 starter on the offensive line. We got to be great pass protectors. Nobody can touch our quarterback. And we have to establish our big backs in the running game. Got about 30 seconds left, Coach. What's going to be the key to starting the season 1-0? We have to go down there and be confident. We've prepared in the offseason better than I've ever had a team prepare. We're strong enough. We're fast enough. We're ready to go mentally and physically. We got to not panic. We got to play close to the best. We got to secure the football. We got to do the simple things like block and tackle and do the fundamental things we're coached to do. If we do that, we'll find a way to win the football game. Coach, best of luck. Here's open for 1-0. Thanks, bud. We'll see you next week. And next week, we'll have our first Cougar football guest of the season.
We'll look back on the Pottsville game and a look ahead to another tough road trip at Wyoming Valley West. That's all coming up next week on Sports Talk, your weekly source for Hazleton Area High School football, and you're watching it here on WYLN.